In this particular video, we're going to look at 6 key skills that can help you future-proof your career, future-proof your business, future-proof your success, and even your investments. Now, the first one is critical thinking. Critical thinking and some form of data analytics or analysis. Critical thinking, to me, is simply just a bridge between a problem and a solution, okay? Let me take that a bit deeper. Now, when you have a problem, which in life you would always have a problem, it is what it is. You have a problem. If you understand what that problem is, understand what the solution should look like, that problem is already half solved because you have critically spent time to understand the problem, okay? I just had to throw the word there critically, so for more emphasis. But ideally, once you understand what that problem is, solving it is much easier, okay? Now, why is this skill so important? One of the key things I've learned working with a lot of Gen Zs these days is you give them a problem and they don't want to stay around to understand the problem itself or understand the solutions of the problem or understand what happened the last time we faced this problem. They just want to jump in and solve the problem in their own way. Now, don't get me wrong. That's fine. You can do that. But ideally, there are smarter ways to do things. And that's where the whole critical thinking thing comes in, where you can solve a problem either faster or better by just thinking critically. The next one is storytelling and data visualization. I had to say that visualization word very slowly because it kind of is very difficult. You know what? If you think I'm joking, pause the video and try to say visualization 10 times very fast. You'll flop. Shall I give you 2 seconds? Let's continue. Anyways, with storytelling, it's very, very simple. In your first step, you have understood the problem, you have thought of some solutions, and then you want to get other people involved in helping you to work towards that solution. Ideally, that's pretty much how it is. You can't do most of these things on your own. The best way for you to get other people, in the business world, they call them key stakeholders. The best way to get key stakeholders involved in your business is by taking them along a journey of what success would look like. Now, this is one thing that I've had to learn the hard way as somebody that has always navigated between marketing and business development. People that are in the business development world, they don't like seeing, creatives and, people dancing around the river saying, oh no, this is beautiful. People in the business development world, they only care about Excel sheets, graphs, pie charts, things like that. Now, your job or the skill that you're trying to learn here is to understand how to tell stories to these 2 different people, the same story to these 2 different people in a different way. That's where storytelling and data visualization comes in. Now, this particular skill set is solely dependent on you, and that's you just adapting to things very quickly. Everything you Google today, stop Googling, start asking ChatGPT. You will be shocked the amount of productivity and the amount of knowledge and the amount of I don't even know how else to, you would optimize everything you do in such a smart manner. And I say this because with Google, you keep asking questions. It just gives you the answer. It gives you the answer of a list of different things that you have to go through. So it's like a listicle, right? Good. With ChatGPT, it would answer those questions. And then as you continue to use your ChatGPT, it then begins to understand how to even begin to have a conversation with you. So when you ask for A, it typically would know that, ideally, when this person has been asking for A, they normally ask for B, C, D, E, F. So as you're talking to ChatGPT, he's asking you, okay, what about B? What about C? What about D? It's going to get to a point where you and ChatGPT would be so in sync that once you put a prompt or you put a question in ChatGPT, it's not just going to answer that question, it's going to answer every single thing. Now, this is just for ChatGPT. When it comes to fast adaptation, there are a lot of AI tools that you can use. I want to do a video on all the different AI tools that I currently use. I don't know if it's going to be important for you guys, but if you want to see that video, just write AI tools in the comments and I'll work on it. If I get 10 AI tools comments, I'll put that video out there. A lot of people think that AI is going to take people's jobs. I genuinely think it's just going to replace people's jobs. So ideally, the way you want to start thinking is you want to be that person that is using AI or at least understands it. There is no reward for ignorance. Okay. Now for the fourth one, it's more personal, but I need to explain myself a bit. Now, when you have emotional intelligence, it's the way you kind of understand what's happening in your environment or in your surroundings, how people react to certain words, how people react to certain actions, how people react to certain news, things like that. You are emotionally intelligent. If you are relaying bad news, there are ways you can relay bad news where you relay bad news with a solution. Now, emotional awareness is actually you understanding yourself. And I'm going to use myself as an example to explain this better. So if I have a meeting at 12 p.m., I cannot have my first cup of coffee in the day. My first cup of coffee in the day, I can't have it at 11:45. Like, once I get into that meeting, the spike in which, once the caffeine hits, like, I will become too giddy. Like, you will be wondering, like, is Damini okay? You get what I mean? So that's exactly, in a way, you being emotionally aware of what it is that can get you to react or act out of place. The fifth one is exposure. Now, exposure is kind of self-explanatory in the sense where a lot of the things that you are doing right now, there's a very high chance that you're not the first person doing it. The person that solved it, how did they solve it? Go and find out. Go and become exposed, right? One of the easiest ways to find or to be exposed is through books. You watching this video, that's some form of exposure. There are certain things that you would learn from Damini and you were like, wow, if I don't know Damini, I would have not known this thing, right? That sort of thing. It's a skill that you need to consistently cultivate, right? You can't hide under the guise of ignorance. Gone are those days. Another one is traveling, actually saving up some money to travel. And the reason why I say this is because when you travel, you easily get access to opportunities that you can bring back to a developing country, right? It could be a business opportunity. It could be an investment opportunity. It could be a career opportunity. There's so many opportunities that once you travel, when you travel, if you actively look for these things, you will see it. And then even unconsciously, they find a way to come to meet you. Now, if you master these 5 key skills, right? Naturally, the 6th skill would become your most powerful skill. And I say this because the 6th skill is called skill stacking. So basically, you've learned how to critically think about situations around you. You've learned how to communicate to key stakeholders. You've learned how to talk to them to let them know that, oh, this is where we are, this is where we need to be, and this is how we are going to get there. Okay, fantastic. You've learned how to leverage AI, or you've learned how to, adapt to situations fast. You've learned how to pivot. You've learned how to cite weaknesses, how to cite strengths, how to cite opportunities, how to cite threats, and then move quickly into those situations. You are emotionally aware, emotionally intelligent. You don't react to situations without thought. You don't, there's this thing where, and I've seen it happen in real life, which is so crazy because I didn't used to believe it, but some people don't process things in their mind before it comes out of my mouth. As they are talking, their brain is not even fully forming the idea. They just any dust. Wah, 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 wah. Then you take all these things and then you begin to actively search for, other people or knowledge that improves. So you're becoming more exposed. This is how you skill stack. And as you are skill stacking, you are only going to become better. There's no other choice. You can't skill stack and become worse. It's impossible. It makes no sense, right? You can't just become better, and then worse. So that's the most important thing. As you're learning all these things, you then begin to stack them on top of each other. This is something that, I can't remember his name now, but the guy that wrote Atomic Habits, one of my most favorite books see, I've been really shattering the English language these days. What is most favorite? One of my favorite books, guys, a lot has been happening behind the scenes. Anyways, so once you learn how to habit stack, skill stack, whatever it is you want to call it, you really become unstoppable. Now, if you want to learn how to leverage AI, I have a video that talks about how you can use ChatGPT to improve your business or your career. Or one thing I use a lot, I use this at least once or twice every week to learn 10 times faster, which is it's called Notebook LM. You're going to watch the video here.